On September 14, 2017, marine biologist Nan Hauser had the diving experience of a lifetime. A huge 45-foot humpback whale started pushing her around. For the next 10 minutes, the humpback maneuvered her all over its giant body. Hauser later found that this act saved her life from a massive tiger shark which was trying to sneak in. We have over 100 documented cases of humpback whales trying to save seals, dolphins, and other marine creatures. But why do humpbacks risk their life on a consistent basis just to save unrelated species from danger? Is this just a misinterpreted anomaly? Are humpback brains capable of fostering compassion and empathy? In this video, we talk about the reasons why many believe these giants of the deep are the kindest creatures of the ocean. Humpback whales are big, with some individuals growing up to a staggering 60 feet in total. The sudden breach of a humpback from the depths is a sight to behold, both for the enthusiastic tourist as well as the curious marine researcher. These majestic creatures are also famous for their long annual migrations. In summertime, the waters near the Arctic are densely nutrient-rich, whereas in winter, subtropical waters provide the ideal conditions for giving birth and raising children. Every year, humpbacks travel 5,000 miles from the Arctic to the equator, making it one of the longest animal migrations on our planet. Their social behaviors are complex, and their communication is highly developed, involving long, intricate songs that can be heard for miles underwater. But the most intriguing part about these majestic behemoths is their seemingly benevolent behavior. In the vast blue expanse of the oceans, survival often hinges on truth and instinct, an eternal chaos of hunter and the hunted. One simply doesn't expect a tale of empathy and heroism to thrive at these depths, or so we thought. Unlike species that operate purely on instinct or self-interest, humpbacks have displayed behaviors that suggest a level of emotional intelligence. In particular, they have been observed intervening when other marine creatures are under attack by one of the ocean's top predators, the killer whale or orca. Killer whales are apex predators that often hunt in coordinated pods. They are capable of taking down seals, dolphins, and even the calves of larger whales. Yet, on numerous occasions, humpbacks have been seen rushing in to stop or disrupt such attacks, even when they have nothing to gain and no personal connection to the animals under threat. This remarkable behavior begs the question, why? Is this just a random anomaly, or is it evidence of something deeper, perhaps even compassion? Many researchers are very skeptic and non-committal about this theory. The general belief being, compassion is majorly a human thing. We are the only species that have an emotional attachment to shedding tears. But if we can show compassion and empathy, why can't the humpbacks? Marine ecologist Robert Pittman, a researcher from the US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, has catalogued over 100 instances of humpback whales interfering in orca attacks. In one well-documented case in Antarctica, a pod of orcas was attacking a Weddell seal that had taken refuge on a drifting ice floe. As the killer whales tried to dislodge the seal, a pair of humpback whales approached. What happened next was astonishing. One of the humpbacks positioned itself directly between the seal and the orcas. Then, as the seal slipped into the water, it scrambled onto the humpback's massive chest. The whale not only tolerated this, it appeared to lift the seal out of the water with its flipper, sheltering it from danger. In another instance, a grey whale calf was being hunted by a pod of orcas near California. As the orcas began their attack, two humpback whales arrived and repeatedly lunged at the killer whales, driving them off. In some cases, humpbacks have been seen chasing orcas over long distances. bellowing loudly and flailing their flippers. Crucially, these acts are not just about protecting their own calves. Many of the creatures being defended, seals, sunfish, even other species of whales, had no biological link to the rescuing humpback. In fact, in many instances, the humpbacks seem to have put themselves at significant risk to save the others. These behaviors have prompted scientists to ask, are these just random misdirected actions, or is something more deliberate at play? Marine biologists suggest that the repetitive and intentional nature of these interventions may be indicative of a broader social or moral structure within humpback whale communities. Pittman has said, if it is a mistake, it's a mistake that they keep making. If it is not, it suggests that something more complex and possibly empathetic is going on. While diving off the Cook Islands in the South Pacific, marine biologist Nan Hauser was approached by a large humpback. At first, she thought the whale was being unusually curious, nudging her gently with its massive head and pushing her with its flippers. It even tried to tuck her under its pectoral fin. At the time, she was confused, slightly alarmed, and unsure of what was happening. But then she saw the real threat, a large tiger shark circling nearby. It became clear that the whale was deliberately placing itself between Hauser and the shark. Over the course of 10 minutes, the whale actively shielded her, using its body to create a barrier and guide her back towards the boat. A second whale was also nearby, possibly monitoring the situation. Hauser, a scientist with decades of experience in the field, was deeply moved. She later described it as the most remarkable encounter of her life. This event gained international attention and furthered the argument that humpbacks may possess the capacity for interspecies altruism. Can a whale truly recognize danger to a human and take active steps to protect them? What drives these enormous creatures to display such compassion? In biology, altruism typically refers to behaviors that benefit another individual at a cost to oneself. It's a concept that has long intrigued scientists because, from a purely evolutionary perspective, it doesn't always make sense. Unless the altruist gains some indirect benefit, such as helping relatives pass on shared genes, perhaps their actions are shaped by a deep-rooted maternal instinct. Humpback moms never abandon their children and often die trying to defend their calves against predators. Some scientists argue that these whales do operate under what we might call a protection reflex, responding to the sounds of signs of distress. Killer whale attacks are chaotic and violent, often triggering distress calls. It's possible that humpbacks simply cannot ignore these signals and are compelled to intervene. Others believe that these whales are capable of experiencing emotions such as empathy, which may drive them to act in ways that to us resemble compassion. Dr. Lori Marino, a neuroscientist who studies cetacean brains, points out that whales possess highly developed limbic systems, the part of the brain involved in emotion. Their brains have structures that are associated with social bonding, communication, and even self-awareness. Marino has said, there's every reason to believe that whales are capable of complex emotional states, including compassion. In a world where brutality and competition often dominate the animal kingdom, the actions of humpback whales offer a different narrative. They remind us that kindness and empathy may not be exclusively human virtues. In the cold, wild depths of the ocean, compassion can still flourish.